Assalamualaikum. My name is Aizula Kabitramzi, and me and my group members will present about the rating valuation of lot number 13231, Bandar Sunway District of Petaling, State of Selangor. We have been instructed by Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya to assess the annual value of the subject property in its existing condition and free from all encumbrances. This valuation is conducted in connection with rating purposes, and the date of valuation of this subject property is on 11 July 2021. Next is the particular of title of subject property, which extracted from Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya. So the lot number of subject property is lot number 13231, Bandar Sunway District of Petaling, State of Selangor. So the title number of is PN 81599, and the land area of subject property is 111 square meters, and it is 99 years old, leasehold expiring on 1st December 2008. So the category of land use is a building, and the express condition is residential building. Moreover, the restriction in interest that state in the title is tanah ini boleh dipindah milik, dipajak ataupun digadai. The registered owner is Mr. Tumiran bin Inde, and lastly, the encumbrances and the miscellaneous endorsement is nil.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Syafika binti Mazlan, and today I would like to present about the location, surrounding area and description of the subject property. So, the first one we will look at the location of the subject property, which is number 125 Lorong PGS 10/9A Jalan Belimbing, Taman Datuk Hormat 46000 Petaling Jaya, Selangor, Darul Ehsan. The subject property may be reached via Federal Highway, exiting at Lebuh Raya Damansara Puchong, and turning left into Lebuh Raya Damansara Puchong LDP. Then, make a U-turn and turn left into Jalan PGS 8/8. Turn right into Jalan PGS 8/14. Then, turn left into Jalan PGS 10/26. After that, turn left into Lorong PGS 10/11A. And finally, turn left into Lorong PGS 10/9A, which is Jalan Belimbing, to where the subject property is sited. So, the subject property located within Taman Datuk Hormat, District of Petaling and State of Selangor. The lot number for our subject property is lot 13231, and the land size is 1195 square feet. The topography of land is flat in terrain and lies at the same level with the frontage road. There are a lot facilities and utilities provided from the surrounding area, such as Sunway Clio Hotel, Sunway Pyramid Rental Centre, Sunway Lagoon Resort, and others. From Kuala Lumpur City Centre, it takes around 18 km to reach the subject property by using the Federal Highway. This is the photograph of property, which is general view of No 125 Lorong PGS 10/9A Jalan Belimbing, Taman Datuk Hormat 46000 Petaling Jaya, Selangor, Darul Ehsan. The next one, we will see the internal view of the subject property, which is the living room, dining room, kitchen and the master bedroom. The last one, we will look at the surrounding area, which is Subang Villa Ehsan Apartment, Dewan Serbaguna Datuk Hormat, 99 Spikmat and Al-Husna Mosque. The next one is Sunway Pyramid Rental Centre, Sunway Clio Hotel, Sunway Lagoon Resort and Suramas Condo.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Raihana binti Abdul Karim, and today I would like to explain about the occupancy status, services assessment, planning provision, method of valuation and basis of valuation. First of all, occupancy status. The subject property is currently owner occupied located at Taman Datuk Hormat, Petaling Jaya. So the surrounding area was observed to approximately 19% occupied. Next is services. First, service provided is public utilities such as water and electricity supply are provided to the subject property. Apart from that, other essential public services such as sanitary facilities and refuse waste collection. Next is the public amenities such as the maintenance of the road, roadside drainage and the street lighting. All these things are provided and responsible by the Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya. On the other hand, public transportation in the form of buses and taxis also available in the vicinity. After that, assessment and planning provision. For the assessment, known as the subject property that assess for rate payable to Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya. And for the planning provision, is the subject property is designated for the residential purpose. Next, the method of valuation. In arriving the annual value of the subject property, the comparison method has been used as a method of valuation. So the comparison method aims to determine the value of the property by comparing and adopting the recent transaction from similar property as well as the sale evident in the vicinity area. The adjustment made from the comparable involving the location, size, tenure, age and the condition of the building. The characteristic of this property to make the necessary adjustment to achieve the appropriate value of the property. Next is the basis of valuation. In determining the assessment of the subject property, the most basic of valuation will be the value of the subject property itself and according to its current use condition. Assessment is imposed to all real property holding in the council. The power of the assessment payable is stated in the Local Government Act 1976, which allow the council to impose rate of the real property holdings. So the basis of valuation is annual value due to the subject property is located at Taman Datuk Hormat Petaling Jaya. Annual value is the estimated gross annual rent at which the holding might fairly be expected to let from year to year, with landlord paying all repair, insurance, maintenance or upkeep expenses as well as any public rate and taxes.
Assalamualaikum to Syazrin. I'm Muhammad Firdaus bin Zarin and I will present about my part, which is market observation. We have chose 3 comparables which is in the same area. Comparable 1 and comparable 2 has the same build-up as subject property, which is 1,195 square feet, but there's a different rental per month, which is comparable 1 is 1,000 and comparable 2 is 1,100 for rental per month. Next is comparable 3. The size is about 1,200 square feet and the rental per month is 1,300. Next is opinion of value, as based on the information gathered and observation that we have did on the subject property at lot 13231 PNX 1599 Pandasan Way, District Petaling, Selangor, with the benefit of a leasehold title having an unexpired term of about 88 years, free of all encumbrances, registerable with occupied possession. So the annual value is 13,200 ringgit Malaysia. The valuation of the above property has been carried out by Nur Sofia Amanda binti Muhammad Aziz, who is a registered valuer for and on the behalf of EcoProDev Realty. So lastly is limiting conditions. A valuer may accept instruction to value subject to certain limiting condition and exclusion as agreed with the client. The limiting conditions are made in the valuation report, which consists of manual guide of Malaysian valuation standards, measurements in accordance of uniform method of measurements, confidentiality to the client or to whom it is addressed, use of report for purpose expressing the stated opinion of value, legal title, site surveys, and structural surveys.
Assalamualaikum. Before I start, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nur Izian Zainah binti Zulkifli. Now, I will explain about the calculation of annual value.
So, we will calculate the annual value of the subject property located at number 125 Lorong PJS 10 9A Jalan Belimbing, Taman Datuk Hormat Petaling. Then, the method used to identify the annual value of the subject property is the comparison method. Besides, the date of valuation for the subject property is on the July 11, 2021. Next, the category of land use is residential. The type of building is intermediate lot.
And the area of the property is 1,200 square feet.
Furthermore, the tenure is leasehold and it is located at the first layer. We had chosen 3 comparables in order to calculate the annual value of the subject property.
The first comparable is located at number 354 Jalan 10, 15A, Taman Datuk Hormat, Petaling. Next, the second comparable is located at number 126 Jalan PJS 109A, alias Jalan Belimbing, Taman Datuk Hormat, Petaling. And the third comparable is located at number 178 Jalan Cempeda, alias PJS 1011A, Taman Datuk Hormat, Petaling. The date of valuation for comparable 1 is on May 6, 2019. For comparable 2, it has been valued on April 1st, 2019. Meanwhile, for the third comparable, the date of valuation is on December 28, 2018. The category of the land use for all of the comparables are residential. The building type for comparable 1 is end lot. Comparable 2 and 3 are intermediate lot. The area for comparable 1 and 2 are 1,195 square feet, while for comparable 3 is 1,200 square feet. All the comparables are leasehold. Next, comparable 1 is located at the second layer. Meanwhile, for comparable 2 and 3 are at the first layer. Lastly, the rental for comparable 1 is 1,000 ringgit per month. Comparable 2 is 1,100 ringgit per month. And for comparable 3 is 1,300 ringgit per month. For the next part of the calculation, I will pass to the next presenter to explain more about it.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Safia Emilda. I'll be explaining on the adjustment and the valuation of assessment rate for our subject property. As you can see, to get the market rental, we have to do an adjustment by using the comparison method. For comparable 1, there is no adjustment for the area and the tenure because it is same with the subject property, while for date of valuation, it was 5%, and for building type, the adjustment is negative 5% because it is a corner lot. This shows that for comparable 1, the total adjustment is negative 5%. Next, for comparable 2, the adjustment is just for date of valuation, which is 5%, while the other are same with the subject property, so there's no adjustment. This makes the total adjustment for comparable 2 is just 5%. Lastly, for comparable 3, the date valuation is far from the date of valuation of the subject property, so that we put the adjustment 10%, and the others items are 0% because it is same with the subject property. The total adjustment for comparable 3 is 10%. To be concluded, we choose comparable 2 as the best comparable because it has the lowest rate, which is 5%. Next is the valuation of the assessment rate of our subject property. Since comparable 2 is chosen as the best comparable, so the rental is 1,100 ringgit times by 12 months, so that we got 13,200 ringgit per annum for the annual value. Well, for the assessment rate, 13,200 ringgit per annum we times with 7.7%, and we got the assessment rate per annum is 1,016 ringgit and 40 cent. The rate of 7.7% we got from Majlis Bandaraya Petaling Jaya. To be concluded, the annual value of our subject property is 13,200 ringgit per annum, and the assessment rate per annum is 1,016 ringgit and 40 cent.